Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Log Room, guys. Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, January the 9th, 2000. To what?
Wer mag den Tisch?
Okay.
Ja, die Lampe ist sehr hässlich.
I don't know what he's talking about. It's January the 9th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you.
I'm practicing my German.
And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai practicing his German for some reason.
Yes, German words.
There you go. How are you this evening, sir?
I am on the mend, recovered from COVID. Yeah, so it's a good thing we had off last week.
Yeah, I'm on the mend too, recovering from a cold. Could have been flu-esque. Wasn't, as far as I know, it wasn't COVID. It was a negative. But could have been the beer I had in Providence.
Oh, don't blame it on the beer.
Nah, I can't. No, it's not bad beer, just too much of it, excess.
Oh, too much of it. Well, here we go. Speaking of Providence.
Knock it off. Right.
And for those who did not see that, when I first wore the shirt on the show was during COVID, and this was a proclamation. I think it's the Frog and the Toad is the name of the gift shop. They had a collab. Right. And they did a double IPA, and they named
Frog and the Toad. It was, yeah.
Yeah, they named it "Knock It Off," and this was I can't remember the governor's name at the time.
No, Frog and the Toad. We were just at Frog and Toad last.
How cool is that place?
That's a great place. Yeah,
I love that place. But the governor at the time, what the hell was her name?
Her, yeah.
She was governor during COVID. See, this is why we need to get our friggin' whatchamacallits back.
We need Matt and Brian back doing their thing.
Any rate, because otherwise we sit here, we type and blah 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 blah. Gina Raimondo. Gina Raimondo. And at one point, she was really getting on the residents' case because everyone was out. They're having parties. They're not wearing their masks, and then she just lost it. Went, knock it off.
Right there you go.
During a press conference, and that pissed off about 10% of the state. The other 90% embraced it.
There you go.
As like a rally cry during COVID. It was really cool.
Well, we'll talk more about Providence next week. My trip up there last week and everything else when we have Efren Hidalgo from Providence Brewing on the show next week.
How interesting.
So we'll be chatting with him a bit.
Will you go to Providence and then we have Efren on the show?
It's just on irony, you know.
It's not irony.
It's presumptuous of you to think that I would do that intentionally.
I know you would never do that intentionally, John. I know that with all this information and all this, you're very perspicacious.
Fair enough.
You know, you get all this stuff out there.
Yeah, right.
We've already each got one word out of the way. So
we got one word out. So
if you're wondering if we're like really trying to shoehorn words into sentences, today is National Word Nerd Day.
Happy National Word Nerd Day.
And John and I have given each other 3 words that we must somehow or another work into the conversation. So we've each worked one in during the preamble to the show.
Monologue, if you will.
It's a duologue.
Duologue, right.
It's a duologue. So the other 2 will have to come during the rest of the show.
Right.
So see if you can play at home and see if you can pick them out.
See if you can pick it out. It's also National Static Electricity Day. So
I got nothing to create static electricity.
You gonna get a balloon? I thought you were gonna get a balloon.
Can you do foam? I don't think foam works.
Oh, not gonna work. Yeah. So.
No, insurance bills don't work.
No.
Yeah. I got stuff in plastic here.
We'll find something. Well.
All
right. Well, let's bring our guest on the show.
Oh, let's do that.
Because he's very busy today, as a matter of fact.
He's a little, and he's probably a little damp at this point.
At this point, too. So please welcome to the show, all the way coming to us from Haddon Township, New Jersey, Dave Welsh from Reunion Hall.
What's going on, guys?
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Are you someplace safe?
I'm somewhat safe. I'm hiding outside because we've got about 50 to 100 people inside right now for our semi-grand opening, I guess we call it. Little pre-party before we get going in the next couple of days here at a new venue in South Jersey.
Very cool.
Well, congratulations to you.
Absolutely.
I know you've been after this for a minute or so.
Yeah, I don't know how many minutes there are in 4 years, but a lot of minutes.
That's cool.
Those of you know the Mile in Runnemede. That's also Dave's other bar, and he's been working on Reunion Hall for quite some time now. And congrats to him for getting it going. This week is grand opening week. So
very nice.
A lot of beers down here on tap, boys. A lot of New Jersey beers.
That's one thing that Dave does is he definitely embraces local and definitely embraces the New Jersey. I can't speak for one of the breweries that I'm wearing, but the other brewery that I'm wearing, it has definitely been on tap at his bars. So,
would it be the hat?
It could be the hat, yeah.
The cap has been on tap.
The cap has been on tap. There you go. But I don't know. Have you had Second Sin on? I'm assuming you must have had Second Sin on, right?
We haven't. We have not had Second Sin on. I don't even know if Second Sin distro's down here.
They might not. That's true. Yeah. They might not get it over. Yeah. But,
so we got a special guest keg dropped off today that I'm not sure if I'll unveil before we get off the call, but we've got something special coming when we kick our first keg. So
nice, very nice.
A gift from some of our friends over in Philadelphia.
Would that be a place that has sandwiches inside their brewery?
Correct.
Okay.
I got you.
Might need to make a trip down south.
Might have to take a ride tomorrow.
You got to hope we kick something else so that can go on.
There you go.
Yeah. Just when we get there, just let us know what's the lowest. We'll drink that dry, and then
there you go. Put that on. There you go. So anyway, Dave, you drinking anything right now, or are you just?
No, I'm just trying to stay warm because I'm outside. I was actually drinking. We have 2 Lucers on, so I'm a big English style beer. So we have a beer on from the Seed, one of their Community Series beers. So that is on, and on one of the Lucers, along with Tonewood on the other.
Now is the Seed one they're dark mild?
Yeah, not a dark mild.
No,
this is a I believe it's a Pils, and then from Tonewood we got a Czech lager on.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh, very nice. I love it. John, what's one of my favorite styles of beer?
Czech lagers, Czech dark lagers.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Pivos to Mave Pivos.
English styles are right up there for mine too, so that works.
That's pretty much all I drink. I'm, anything that's an English mild, and I grew up drinking Smittix, which is different than what most people grew up drinking.
Very true.
That's not quite an English mild, but it's definitely a delicious beer.
Yeah.
It's basically British Smittix. I always confuse it with something else. It's not the cream ale. It's the red. The red, yeah.
There's Kilkenny and Smittix, kind of in that family from Guinness.
Smittix is amazing. I do that every St. Patrick's Day. I do a blacksmith.
Yeah,
yeah, friggin' yeah. I love drinking a blacksmith. For those of you who don't know, that's a black and tan with Guinness and Smittix. So.
Yeah, don't write letters.
Exactly. All right, Dave, what are you drinking, real quick? We'll get back to Dave.
I've been hearing a lot about
Samurai. What are you drinking? And then we'll get back to Dave.
Been hearing a lot about this brewery called Schenker.
Okay.
So finally found some, and this is their Chasadice. Mm-hmm. Chasadice is an Italian-style pilsner. You'll see that John and I are both trying to keep low ABVs tonight because we're still kind of recovering. And this one's pretty low. It's high for an Italian pilsner, though, isn't it? A little high. A little high. 5.2, but not that much. It's funny because with a I keep saying pilsner, Czech pilsner with Italian lager. See, I want a Czech pilsner now. What you did to me, Dave?
Exactly.
That's what you did to me, Dave. I am adamant that I want a friggin' Czech pilsner.
Ding, ding, Come on down. It's only 2 hours from you guys. You get here in no time.
I can be there in 45 minutes. So.
Yeah, I've got quite a drive.
Dave's got a little bit longer drive.
I've got 40 minutes to get out of my neighborhood.
There you go.
But anyway, no, with an Italian pilsner, you expect some sort of like grain bite to it, and this one's got a little bit more of a grain bite to it. I would not be surprised if they hopped it. Right. I would not be surprised because it's got a little bit of lemon to it, so I wouldn't be surprised.
A bit of lemon to it. Right, there you
go. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's Sriracha Ace in this.
There you go. Very nice.
We're trying to get South Jersey to hop on the Czech lager, the Pilsner movement. It's strong in Philly.
Oh, yeah.
Southern Jersey still is IPA driven more than anything else. Sorry about the siren in the background.
Wait a second. That's not me.
That's not you for a change.
No, that's me. So
I live about 4 blocks away from the Bergen.
That's almost a mile from me. That's how loud that siren is.
Wow. That's great, though. It adds character to the show. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
There you go. Just so you're
ambiance.
Ambiance. There you go. I am drinking Hibernator from Longshore. Solid winter ale.
Yes, it is.
Always grab that. Grabbed it with my winners last month, but didn't drink one on the show. So figured tonight would be the night to do that. So, and just want to throw this up. Matt is watching the show, and he said Blacksmith is the gym. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that. But I know he knew that and agrees with that. So
of course.
Anyway, so just really quick want to say cheers once again to Dave for getting Reunion Hall open.
Yep.
Thank you.
I will be down ASAP.
Yep, and we got a tap line waiting for you once you guys are up and going full tilt.
I got some news for you, so we'll discuss that in the coming days.
You got it.
You got it. All right, let's kick it off with what we always start with really quick. What's for every guest?
He's answered it already almost.
What's that?
We'll see. His first ever craft beer.
His first.
First ever craft? No, would it probably? I don't know if you consider it a craft. I mean, was Newcastle Brown.
That'll
okay,
work.
Fair enough. That works.
Back in the clear bottle.
Yep.
Oh yeah. During the skunky days.
And then actually, no, I would have to. No, you know what? I would have had Yingling. I would say if you considered Yingling. I mean, does Yingling go craft beer back in 1996?
Absolutely.
That'll work. Yep.
Yeah.
It's not one of the big beers.
Yeah.
That works.
So we accept that.
We accept that absolutely.
And when it comes to Yingling, we accept it lovingly.
Yeah.
And Matt did weigh in and say, "I look forward to seeing our beer on tap there." There he goes. Matt's my partner in the brewery. So
awesome.
Yeah, you met him at Icarus last June.
Oh yeah. So right now, we'll talk about what's on. We have 30 different Jersey breweries on tap down here right now.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah, 56 total drafts and 30 different Jersey, and I think 35 total Jersey beers.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
All the Jersey beer shirts I wear, and I wear a Rhode Island one today.
And you wear a Rhode Island one today. Hey, I wore a Pennsylvania one, but I wore that because I knew I had a Jersey cap on, and Dave's a big Philly guy, which is going to be evident in the top 3 list. But that's besides the point.
That's going to be a fun one.
That's going to be a fun one. All right, so Dave, let's go back. You're a running guy. I mean, you also own a handful of running stores.
Correct. Yeah, that was right. I was a footwear engineer for New Balance and a beer drinker of Philadelphia, and came down here. I had 4 different little running stores, and then opened a bar called The Mile with a partner back then, and then, as you know, just got Reunion Hall off the ground. And the table in front of me, actually, the big table in the bar right now, is all my Running Co. staff is in there having their first drink and first everything. Oh, here comes the fire truck right now, so give me a minute.
You got it.
Well, that's a good blast.
There you go. That's near and dear to mine and Dave's heart. We're both former volunteer firefighters. So.
Wow, yeah, that's right down the street from here. So.
Probably an MVA in this weather.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're
Might
going down the street, but wow, yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. It's all good. That was actually less than the sirens going off before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so where I live, we very often get fire trucks go right past us. This microphone picks up everything. So as loud as you thought that was over this, it's not as loud as what the ones outside my window come off across this microphone. Let's
put it this way, Dave. I'm shocked that the siren that just went past Reunion Hall, Dave's mic didn't pick it up.
Okay.
So anyway.
And if you hear anything in the background, that's Carrie watching Hamlet. So
that's all good. All good. So anyway, all right. So you opened the Mile in 2017, correct?
Well, it's been 5 years. Was that 2018?
2018.
Just hit 5 years in this past August.
Okay, yeah, 2018, right? And then like a year later, you started the project to open up Reunion Hall.
Yep, and it's been the approval and process from hell. So
talk us through a little bit of that. You started doing it, and
so we started doing it, and the concept is way different than anything else. It was the idea of having a bar and having 3 fooderies in it. Mm-hmm. So there's 3 restaurants in here that are all independent that have permanent spots, but the goal was to kind of blend the restaurant and brewery industry. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, you get to come in here and you get the vibe that you're at a brewery, but then the food trucks are actually permanently here.
Gotcha.
So they don't have to drive up. So we've got a vegan kitchen called Poppy Taco, a sandwich shop called Local Standards, and a chicken spot called Chicken Joint. They're here 24/7. They'll always be here for the first couple of years. And then I've got the bar area to me. But when you order, it all goes through one server, one tab. The food's brought to you just like you're in a traditional restaurant.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. Really cool.
Kind of blending the best of both worlds. Because right now, people like going to breweries and hanging out more than they like going to restaurants and hanging out. It's just a cooler vibe.
Shh! Please don't say that.
Did he sign it yet? Did he sign it yet? Don't say that before it gets signed.
Please don't say it.
I'm on everybody's side, so well, obviously, so that's a good thing. So
yeah,
no, you're right. You're right though. The vibe is definitely cooler. People got to eat though, so there's that. So
yeah.
The fact
I've said it so many times.
There's no chain breweries. You know what I mean? The breweries are all independent. They each have their own personality. Unlike, a lot of the restaurants and bars we have that are, they're one and the same. They're just carbon copies of themselves.
Right. Exactly.
And I've said it many times before. Our drinking culture in this country is so different than drinking cultures elsewhere. Drinking and food always go hand in hand.
Yeah,
it's the U.S. is one of the few places where you can actually go and find bars that don't serve food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
just sit down. Especially what became known as old man bars, right? The gin joints and whatever.
Gin mills, yeah.
Gin mills.
Even the dive bars have food, so
yeah. Actually, some of the dive bars have some of the best.
Some of the best food, right? Exactly. Yeah. But so that Reunion Hall is an awesome concept, and I'm loving every time we talk about it. I just love hearing more about it. So
the coolest feature, just to go over, that you guys would love, is there's one wall in here. It's inspired by Oscar Blues out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
I asked as many Jersey breweries and national breweries that could get me a beer barrel, and then we took those barrels apart and we have a wall of all the staves. So
very cool.
40 or 50 foot long wall of staves that just has all that on it.
That's awesome.
Really cool vibe. So
awesome. So good.
I'm going to try and sneak in there and see if I can give you a little peek of it.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Gets a little loud. It doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah. So I'm trying to you'll kind of see it here over my shoulder.
I am trying to find the one.
There it is. Look at that. There it is right there.
That's so cool.
So you guys get a good view of it there?
Yeah, that is really neat. You got some nice texture on that wall, right? Because you didn't even flatten them. That is really cool. I like that.
Anybody listen to the audio podcast, around 18 minutes in, go to Facebook or YouTube and rewatch it about 18 minutes in. You'll see the wall.
And what do you have? You got a bottom lit there with red lights? You probably can't hear us. You got lights at the base of that wall too, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have it backlit at the bottom and the top.
That's so cool.
It kind of gives a hue to it, but I don't know if you guys could tell the detail on it. I couldn't hear anything, so.
Oh yeah, no.
Definitely.
I love the way that the staves actually come out. They still have their curve to them. That is so cool.
Yeah,
and if you really were to look at it, you could tell where it changes barrels because you'll see the difference in the way they've aged or the difference in the color of the wood and texture of the wood.
It's awesome.
There's there it is. So I was looking for it in Fort Lauderdale. There's something very similar to your concept. Dream State Brewing is in it. It's in the Sistrunk Marketplace, and it's like a food court. And you can order like yours. You can go online. You can order food from anywhere and beer from the brewery. It all just comes to your table.
Yep.
And it's all in one check. And it's it's such a cool concept. It's the first time I ever came across it was in Fort Lauderdale. Actually took my kids there. They weren't allowed to order beer. They're too young. But
kids ordered beer. He ordered food. That's what.
And of course, I've took them there before. My son has to drop me off at the airport, and we're kind of running out of time. And my daughter orders something like a full pizza, and it's one of those complicated ones that takes forever to cook. So it's like, okay, well, maybe I missed a flight. We'll see.
Lovely.
So
anyway, but it looks great, and I can't wait to get down there. So. All right, so tell us about talk a little bit about what you've done at the Mile, and then then I have a couple questions about Reunion Hall.
Say that again. You could talk about what
what you've done at the Mile, and then I have a few other questions about Reunion Hall.
Yeah, so the Mile, the 5 years it's basically the concept is, we've got 36 different beers on tap there.
Mm-hmm.
We call it better than bar food. So make your common bar foods, we make a lot of them from scratch just to do something a little different. Try to tie them into the beers. We're really known for carrying a bunch of different sours, which a lot of places don't tend to carry.
Right,
cool.
Tap lines, but you clean your tap lines. You can flip around those different sours. We don't tend to bring in a lot of the smoothie type sours, more the ones without.
Thank you.
As much puree in it, I should say.
Right.
But it's been good. It was great for me because it was a learning experience doing something on a smaller magnitude. Our bar holds 30 people. around the bar, and we have seats for about 40. I mean, Reunion Hall inside is 150 to 160 seated, and then you've got outside where I am here. You can kind of see everything. There's an outside bar, a whole dining area, and then a turf and lounge area. So our capacity outside is a couple hundred for standing.
And unfortunately, I saw the video from last night. Unfortunately, obviously with the rain today, you don't have the fire pits on.
Yeah, it's horrible here right now.
As is the whole region right now.
This is the whole region. Right?
I just opened another beer. This one, Dave, is one after your own heart. Before I even knew you liked British beers and they were in your soul, I had chosen this one. It's Ghost Hawk's Mild Thing.
Oh, nice.
It's a 3% dark mild. And I tell you, these guys up at Ghost Hawk, they know how to brew. They do so well with the British and German styles. They're really fantastic.
Where are they out of?
They're out of Clifton, New Jersey. They're right across the street from Rutt's Hut, by the way.
Okay.
And yeah, you would do well to get some of their stuff down there. They're the same mindset you are.
Okay, yeah, we've started to get some of the North breweries to partner up with. So we've got Conclave just hopped on with us. We've got them on tap down here. We're good friends. We love Twin Elephant, way up there.
Oh, yes.
Go. Big fans of those guys. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of new Magnify from up there, Icarus. So the usual suspects, Bolero. They're all down here on tap.
He's proving one of my points right now, John.
What's that?
See, I grew up in what is referred to, and most people deny, Central Jersey.
I didn't even know there was a Central Jersey.
Yeah, exactly. So people from South Jersey think anything north of, say, Route 70 is North Jersey. And by putting Icarus and Conclave as North Jersey,
well, it's north of him. So.
It's north of him, exactly.
Right.
But the thing
wherever
is,
295 stops is basically what we consider North Jersey. That's how we do it down here.
That's about right. And the thing is, it goes the other way as well, where everyone in North Jersey, anything below the Raritan, they consider South Jersey.
Right.
Yeah. Or you just go by what team do you cheer for? You cheer for the Eagles, or you cheer for the Giants or Jets?
Right.
So Eagles fans are South Jersey, Giants and Jets fans are Central Jersey and North Jersey.
But the thing is, when you live in the Central Jersey area, I grew up. The only reason that it was very easy for me to fill up my top three when we get to it is that I grew up at both New York and New Jersey stations because I was in Central Jersey. And this is the day. This is the day before streaming. This is where you had to put the rabbit ears up.
Yeah.
So you could get both.
Dave's trying to tell you he's old. That's what he's trying to do.
Only 1 year older than Johnny. Johnny knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
But
I do. But yeah, no.
I wanted to ask him. So the mile is named because of your running addiction?
Just from running. Well, my business partner on it, Ed Donahue, when we had that together, his daughter was an Olympian in the metric mile. So that was where he had a bar called the Irish Mile. The mile became a spinoff of that, and then that's kind of where that comes from.
Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. Next time my brother visits the state, if he wants to get anywhere near Philadelphia, I'll have to bring him there because he's a marathon runner.
Yeah, I mean, we're literally I can get to Philadelphia in 8 minutes from my house. That's how close we are.
And have to bring him into some of your stores because he spends a shit ton of money on sneakers and running gear and I tell him all the time. I said, "You run marathons. Did anyone tell you you don't have to?"
You're glutton for pain.
Did I hear right? I heard this last week or the week before. Adidas came out with a pair of marathon shoes that are disposable. You wear them once. You wear them for one marathon.
You can use them more than one. They basically say they start to break down. They're $500 a pop. But
that's genius. Right. I'm gonna make a pair of 500.
Pushing the envelope on how fast can technology make us?
Right. Oh no! What I'm saying is genius about it is like you're talking people into buying shoes that are $500 that you only wear once. That's friggin' genius.
Well, we talk people into buying $15 beers. Is that genius?
Which you only
drink it once. Yeah,
you just kind of rent for about an hour.
Rent for about an hour. So, but hey, it's all good. It's all good. Matt, I just want to throw this up there. Matt, speaking of the Reunion Hall concept, Matt said he's been to a couple places that work in a similar way in Colorado. Good beard, several food options. That's a winning combo, he said.
Yeah. So, Matt, the biggest influence on Reunion Hall is Colorado. So you picked up where my vibe came from.
There we go.
There you have it. And there you have it. Exactly. So, That's awesome to hear, though. So when's the actual today? Today's like a soft grand opening. Obviously, you got
so we opened our official anniversary is going to be New Year's Eve. We opened just for that day with just the bar for the Eagles game. We still didn't have our CO for the kitchens. We got our CO for the kitchens 2 days ago. So yesterday we opened again just the bar, and then today we opened with the kitchens, but just for half a day. And then tomorrow we're going to go open at 11 and go to 11. So tomorrow will be the first full day.
Tomorrow's the first full main grand opening day.
These go to 11.
These go to 11, right? Exactly. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Any events you have coming up?
No, not to start. I mean, we're just going to basically be doing crowd
control. Beer wise, I meant.
So I'm hoping that we haven't done any marketing or anything else. We're just going to go off of what people want something new and they're going to come out.
I got you. Beer wise, though, you have anything planned or just have the taps on? And
no, just we're going to do a couple neat specials. With us being close with Philadelphia, we're going to partner with Kenwood Lager and Yards and do a Philly special. A couple different little things like that. Like I said, we got a special keg coming. It's on premises that will get tapped when the first one kicks. Right. But nothing crazy. We'll probably let each brewery kind of have their moment in glory down here that we partnered with. Neck of the Woods was cool enough to actually make a beer and name it after Haddon Ave or Haddon Township. So they did a Haddon Mule Sour for us.
Nice.
So there's been the breweries have been great. The local support from the community and from the brewery and some of the other local bars that we're really close with down here have been great. So nice. The guys that own Blue Monkey are in here right now, which is one of my favorite places to go to in South Jersey.
I love Blue Monkey. That's a great place.
I think I've been there once.
Best of the best.
Yeah, they're not far away at all from you.
No, just 2.5 miles, 3 miles from me. So
yeah. So, and good cigar shop right across the street too.
And Eclipse Brewery is right there also.
And Eclipse is right there. Yeah, the same, basically right across. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's a really cool area there, right? What's that?
Merchantville.
Merchantville. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Buddy of mine goes to that cigar place all the time. In fact, when I saw you a few weeks ago and I came over, I had just left him.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's why I smell like a cigar because it's in the.
Oh my God, they're right on the bike path. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right there. Yeah. So anyway, cool. All right. What I don't want to. I know you got a lot going on tonight. I don't want to keep you for the whole hour or so that we're going to do. But is there anything else you want to talk about for Union Hall? Get it out there before
I think just come. You want to come in somewhere where you're going to have tons of food selections from vegan to chicken to barbecue. We've got all that. You want to come somewhere where you can kind of take in all your different Jersey breweries under one roof. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what we're here for. And once the weather gets better, we have a gorgeous outside spot right now. You
Beautiful
don't
outside.
Want to be anywhere near
it. Actually, go on there. Anybody listening or watching this, go on their Facebook page, go on their Instagram, Union Hall's Facebook page or Instagram, and check out the video that Dave posted last night. And you can see the outdoor space without rain, with the fire pit going, and check it out. You can definitely see that you're going to want to be there. It's an awesome space. It's beautiful. He put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that. That's for sure. And
yes.
And it's definitely going to be a place that I think you're going to be able to, Dave, seriously, I think you're going to be able to help bring around the culture of beer in South Jersey, at least in your area, to with everybody else that's doing it, to come more and more to lagers and everything else.
Yeah, because I don't know how many. I mean, you may know better than me. How many bars have Lucers to pour from?
Not very many.
Yeah, you really only find them more so than you find them in the breweries.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. Like the Toma guys were great with when I brought up the idea, and they're like, we're all on board. And so was the Seed. When I talked to Amanda, she was all on board. So, those two are the initial Lucre pours for us.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll have a few things for you too, but there's a lot of really good lagers out there right now. You can't really go wrong. Even in New Jersey, there's a lot of good liquid right now in New Jersey, and Dave's going to be a focal point of it in South Jersey for that. So
that's awesome.
Definitely want to get over there.
We love that.
Absolutely.
Just look at the name of the podcast.
Exactly. The Lager Room. Exactly. All right. Let's jump into our top threes. Let's do them now. And then we can let Dave go.
Hit Matt's comment first before we do.
I was just about to do that. Matt just said he has to run. Best of luck, Dave, and excited to take a trip down and check it out.
Cheers, man. Thank you.
You got it. Sounds good. All right, man. Let's do the top threes, and we can let you get back to work.
You got it. And I can get warm. I'm starting to
I
freeze.
was going to say you get warm too. Top threes tonight in honor of Dave, because he's a big Philly sports fan. And that's top 3 favorite Philadelphia sports players of all time. So let's kick it off with Dave.
All right, number one, I think, has to be Michael Jack Schmidt. You know, I grew up with baseball, with my dad being a big fan of that, and just watching Michael Jack, especially when he hit that 500th and did his little running dance around the bases. He's probably number one in my eyes.
Mike Schmidt, you got it.
Yeah.
2 is going to get tough because, you know, I'm a diehard hockey fan. That's my number one sport. As much as I'm not a season ticket holder, I'm an Eagles season ticket holder. Mm-hmm. But I would probably go with Mr. Lindros, just being a big influence with me growing up and watching him. And as much as the Eagles are my team, I don't know if I have a player from them that stands out as much as the other 3 sports. And I would go basketball, and I would go probably AI. I think Allen Iverson and his grit and his determination for his size. And even watching him when I believe he came up through Georgetown, like how tiny he was, but how big he played, man. The dude had no fear.
Fair enough.
So that's my 3, even though the Eagles are my team I tend to watch the most and support the most.
You want to throw an honorable mention out there for one of the Eagles?
I'd have to go Randall. Yeah. And just with his daughter, also his kids being phenomenal track and field athletes, and Randall being a coach now. His daughter is the U.S. champ in the high jump. So a little trivia there.
Very cool.
Vashti Cunningham.
Yes. There you go. Cool. And speaking of, I'll get to it afterward. Dave, you do yours. Samurai, you do yours now. Yeah.
All right. I actually have 5.
Oh, geez.
Growing up where I did watch the Eagles. I did watch the Phillies. Not so much the Flyers. So I've got football players and baseball and football players. So in the baseball world, Mike Schmidt, of course. I mean, when you talk about the Phillies, you can't not mention Mike Schmidt. So he was definitely on my list. Greg the Bull Luzinski. He either struck out or hit it to Delaware. There was nothing in between with him.
It's Mr. Kyle Schwarber, who's like that now.
Yes. And then, but one of my favorites, just by attitude, the first baseman, Mike Kruk. One of my favorite stories from Crookie is he's in a restaurant. And he's in a restaurant. This is the days when you could smoke. He's smoking a cigar. He's drinking a whiskey. And there's a lady there with her kids, and she looks at him and goes, "Sir, how can you treat your body like this? You're a role model. You're an athlete." This lady, "I'm not an athlete. I'm a ball player."
Yeah.
It's great. The 2 football players, Reggie White. Absolutely loved the way Reggie played the game. He was something else. Really loved Reggie. And Jaws, Ron Jaworski. Identifying mostly as Polish, with all my makeup, as far my genetic makeup, I mostly identify as Polish. So Ron Jaworski was kind of a bit of a hero to me growing up. And he's not so damn bad in the sports booth either, is he? The sports desk. He's at the desk now.
Yeah, exactly. All right. I'll give you mine. I'll throw a couple of honorable mentions only because one or both of you have mentioned them. And that's, of course, Ron Jaworski and Mike Schmidt, of course. And I'll even throw in Greg Luzinski. Actually, was just talking to Greg Luzinski at a Phillies-Giants game at Citizens Bank Park
cool.
in August when I was there. Jess and I walked over to get barbecue at the one barbecue stand on the lower deck. And there's Greg Luzinski standing there. He had been signing autographs and doing meet and greets. And he was just hanging out. So I walked up and stood there and hung out and talked to him for a while. So
there you go.
Kind of cool. But I'll give you in the top 3. I'll have to say I'm going to throw in number 3, Tug McGraw, even though it was a bet first.
The Tugger.
He was on the Phillies. Number 2, I agree 100% with Dave. Allen Iverson, AI definitely. And my number 1, Wilt the Stilt.
For his on court or off court athletics.
Well, I mean,
or his dunk, the most renowned dunk of all time.
The dunk heard around the world. Yes,
and he played on 2 Philadelphia teams. He played in the Philadelphia Warriors, and he played in the Philadelphia Sixers. So.
Oh, if we're gonna go, I forgot basketball. How about Raleigh Massimino's kid going toe to toe with Georgetown in that championship? Right, RC Massimino actually had it. She had a game.
There you go.
That's right. Philadelphia. That counts as Philadelphia athlete.
It counts as Philadelphia.
Okay.
There you go. Whatchamacallit? I did want to say something to Dave really quick. We're talking about Philly sports, right? And not that he was on the Eagles all that long, but there was a particular backup quarterback on the Eagles not too long ago that did at one point own a liquor license in South Jersey, right?
Yeah, that's the liquor license I'm sitting on right now.
And you own it now, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do an honorary cheering day for him. I think the Browns play on Saturday, Sunday. So, Mr. Joe Flacco, whose family had this liquor license that I purchased, and we took it over and converted it into what we've got now.
So
here's the old Joe.
Here's the
Joe.
We'll do a preemptive one.
May he do well in the playoffs.
Yep.
There you go. Cheers. All
right.
And it's funny because the guy he replaced is also in the playoffs.
Yeah,
this is true.
Yep. Baker brought Tampa back in.
Baker brought Tampa back, right?
All right. Well, I'm going to drop off here because I'm starting to freeze, boys.
Go get inside. I'll hook up with you later in the week. We'll talk about some things. I'll get down there soon. And once again, congratulations on getting open.
You got it, man. Enjoy your lagers. I'll talk to you guys.
Get warm, get a beer.
Will do.
Take care. All right. So Tom just weighed in. He said Larry Bowa was criminally underrated. And he says, you have to love Jaws.
You have to.
Absolutely.
You had to love Jaws. He was not the most physically gifted with quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. But he did, man, what he did with what he had.
You know what? One of the things I loved the most about Jaws?
What was that?
Taylor sacking him so often.
Well, that's at the end of his career. You can't leave him be.
I'm kidding. I actually didn't apologize to Dave for Sunday's game, but
that would have been cruel.
It would have been cruel.
It would have been some gravitas, I believe, because this is the first time we've beaten them in how many years?
I mean, I got to be honest with you. I was flabbergasted at that game. I was.
Put it this way. So, as many people have heard who listen to the show, I run a John Flaydon Giants Rant Over Under group. At one point, John was so stunned and had nothing to bitch about that he was not ranting on Facebook. So it wasn't just me, but a few of his other friends had to do wellness checks because we all knew he was sick. So we had to do a wellness check. John finally answered on Facebook.
I put up, just to let you all know, I'm finally enjoying a aggravation-free game. Just enjoying it. Just sitting there and enjoying the game. So it's been a very long time since I was able to sit. Even in playoff games that the Giants have won. It's been a very long time since I was able to just sit and enjoy a game.
It was something else. Now, sitting and enjoying, we are sitting. And we are waiting to see if Murphy will sign the bill that has been passed by the Jersey State Congress, both houses. Mm-hmm. Again, unanimously, correct?
Unanimously. 2 abstentions in the assembly.
That's it. So that's as unanimous as you can get.
0 no votes. 2 abstentions in the assembly. Everybody else, 100% yes.
Now, the bill that they're putting on his desk is a compromise. Mm-hmm. It's not everything Murphy wanted, and it's not everything that the assembly and the House, assembly and the assembly and Congress,
assembly and the Senate.
Assembly and the Senate wanted.
Thank you, Tom. Good luck. Thank you.
But they're giving Murphy some of what he wants. They're going to sell off the pocket licenses.
What they're doing is the biggest thing that he was able to put in there that he wanted was pocket licenses. What's a pocket license? A pocket license is somebody sitting on a license. They own it, but they're not using it. All right, that's a pocket license. That's what the description of a pocket license is. He doesn't want that anymore. Now there's over 1,400 unused licenses that are owned by people.
Yep.
That people are just sitting on. Basically an investment for them, right? They spent the money on them, got them for cheap or whatever. They just
they're treating them like stocks.
Right.
Or a Cantillon sour.
6 to 1, right?
Yeah,
exactly. And so what he's enacting is he's given them 2 years. So you have 2 years to use it or sell it. And if
actually, the way I read it, anything that's not been used in 8 years immediately is being confiscated. If it has not been used in the past 8 years, and then after that,
I think there's some grace period where they can sell it or use it right away.
But then after that, anytime that someone has a license and it is not used within 2 years, they forfeit it. So that's even going forward. That's not even just now. That's going forward. That it has to be used. Exactly. The other thing I thought was interesting with the licenses is that any municipality that has a license that's not being used can transfer it to a bordering municipality,
right?
Who needs more? They have to border. They have to share border.
Has to be a contiguous border town, right? Exactly.
Yeah, that's I found that a very interesting thing written into this particular law that's being sent up. So this is the stuff that Murphy wanted. Some of the stuff that Murphy wanted, not all of it, of course, but some of it. So this is what they're giving Murphy in exchange for the breweries allowed to have unlimited events at the brewery and only 25 off-site events.
I would have gone 50, but 25 is fine.
25 is fine. How many can you do? You can do one off your brewery premises every week. That's
every other week.
So 25 is every other week. So that's great, right? Yeah. They are allowed to, and I love the wording of this one. They are allowed to partner with a third-party food vendor. They don't specify food truck.
No, food trucks or restaurants, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. So a restaurant or anybody, they can. One thing that I saw a lot in Rhode Island that I loved were these pop-in kitchens where they'd set up inside the brewery and sell their food inside the brewery.
Yeah, the only thing that the breweries cannot do is they cannot profit in any way from the sale of the food.
Right. Well, they still are because people.
Well, no, directly profit.
Yes, they can't get stipends from the food, but they're profiting from it because if you're eating, you're probably sitting and drinking more.
No, of course.
So that's the whole point of it. It's so these are the two things that they're giving to the craft beer breweries. It's not as much as the breweries want, but these are the two big things: the events
and the food.
These were the two big things. And people say, well, you're still not allowing breweries to serve their own food. So many breweries don't want the headache of a kitchen.
I don't want a kitchen.
Yeah. No, who wants? So few. There are some that do. Don't get me wrong. There's some that do. They do want that, but for the most part, they don't want that. They love having the truck come up, feed their customers. The customers buy more beer, and then the truck goes away. It's like having grandchildren, right? You got all the joy of having children in your life, and then not that I am a grandchild, and then eventually that child goes away. You don't have to fight with it to go to bed. It's all that. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
I like the compromise here. I think there's a lot done. They're not done yet. No. This is it's not even a stopgap. This will be law, which is great.
Yeah, this is law. This isn't even something that's
the ABC can make. Yeah,
no.
The ABC can't step in and say, okay, no, we're going to do this. No, this is on the books. This is out of your jurisdiction now. It's only in your jurisdiction is that you have to. You are the police. You are policing the law now.
Right.
That's all you're doing. You're not setting policy like they have done which they've been allowed to do in the past. So that's great.
Exactly. Tom said, and I thought our liquor law was sorry.
No,
he also laughed at your Cantillon sour joke. Too, so.
You've got to, I think New Jersey and Utah have the most bizarre liquor laws. So New Jersey,
Pennsylvania's a little odd.
Pennsylvania's a little odd, but they've really relaxed a lot of the case law. The case laws there. It's not like it used to be. So and the laws in the breweries aren't as wacky as they are in Jersey. Most of the Pennsylvania ones were on the liquor stores, right?
on the liquor stores. Yeah.
Okay, I told you that was weird, didn't I, John?
Weird. It's weird.
So the beer that John's drinking, I gave to him, and I gave it to him because I wanted to see his reaction.
It's not bad weird. It's just weird.
It's just weird. That's the whole thing. It's a hard one to get your head around.
It's an Einstock winter ale, and it's brewed with spruce tips and smoked barley. So it's technically a beer we could have on the show 2 weeks from today.
This is true. We could. I do have one left,
but it's not. No. There's other better smoked beers.
We've got so much, but this is a strange beer, and it's funny because I'm not sure. As this is the second time for the holidays I've pulled up a weird beer. I did drink. Did I drink? Yeah, I drank this on our Christmas beer show, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because the year prior I had the cranberry orange one from Toppling Goliath.
Yeah.
That was a strange beer.
Yeah. And John had that on the show, didn't he?
Yes, Starodumsky drank it on the show this year.
This year.
Yeah.
So this is I'm getting some bitterness. I'm getting the piney from the spruce tips.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a little bit of the smoked barley, but I'm almost getting some like fruit.
Yes. And the thing is, I don't know if it's the color of the can makes you think there's cranberry in it.
It's not bad. It's just
it's hard to wrap your head around it.
Yeah. It's I saw before John actually Starodumsky did actually have this beer when I was looking at it. And let me just go to what he said. He said, subtly smoky, gently piney, a lot like a pine log softly burning in a Christmas fireplace. I like that.
I like that.
That's pretty damn close.
That's a damn good way to put it. And I like what Tom said about your reaction to this beer.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, I've had it." He says, "Watching your face, Johnny, was priceless." Well, that was why I received this beer from Dave. So there you go.
Yeah, because I really wanted to see what his reaction was. Well, I wanted to hear his reaction. We got to see his reaction to this beer. I
have to concur with John with Brew Guru. I like that a lot, like a pine log softly burning in a Christmas fireplace. And even a little less than that, but there's a little bit of fruit there too. It's almost like they took like a pine log softly burning in a Christmas fireplace that they took a couple of cranberries and tossed them into the fire.
I really think it's a mind fuck from the color of the can. It's weird.
All right. I'll put it away and take another sip.
You've already seen it. It's too late.
Berries, some sort of holiday berry. It doesn't necessarily be this color.
Yeah. And what I like about this beer, it's so Einstock. When Einstock first came out, I was so excited to have a beer from Iceland because I was one of those collecting, beers from different countries. So that was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And Einstock has had some they've got some decent beers out there. I've never, ever really raved about any of their beer. It's good. Mm-hmm. It's good. And this one is another good one, but is the most interesting beer. I mean, because there are other beers, I don't know if I'd call them insipid, but they were just kind of, that's 3 now, John.
There you go.
I think John's forgot what we're doing.
Oh, I didn't. I have one left.
Which one? What was the second one you worked in?
I said I was flabbergasted.
Oh, that's right. Then you did do the flabbergasted. Oh, you're doing them in order that I gave you.
It just happened to work out that way.
But it's true because so many of those breweries that are like kind of that mid range or maybe a little above, like I put Einstock, some of their beers in the particular styles. Insipid's a good word for it. I'm glad that John gave me that word because it was an easy one to work into conversation. But this beer is not insipid. It's a palate challenger. Mm-hmm. And with what they have in it, it doesn't sound like it should be a palate challenger. Okay, so you've lightly smoked something, you got spruce tips in it. Makes sense. And then you taste it like, I don't know what's going on here. It's really, and I gotta give them credit to making a beer that's. Now the thing is, people who are like kind of into the new beer world, like it's a beer you can't figure out. Why is that enjoyable? Because we've had everything. Almost everything that's out there. We've had in some form or another. Every style we've drank. We know what these things are supposed to taste like. So when we get something that we can't figure out, it's almost exciting.
It is. It is.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what's going on here? And you start to drink the beer slower.
Right.
For two reasons. One, to give your tongue a chance to pick it up, but also to taste the beer at different temperatures.
Of course.
So, the longer it takes you to drink it, the more it warms up, the more flavor that's going to come out of it. And then maybe at some point you can figure out, oh, this is what's going on, or this is what's going on, or some way that you can rationalize it to your own brain and your own palate. So I was very interested in giving Johnny one of those to see where he would go with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean the smoked part of it. I mean, I'm getting it. It's very
subtle.
It's very tenuous.
Very tenuous. I don't know. There's your third one. I'm not quite sure if that's proper usage, but we'll give it to you.
It's weak. I'll use it again. Don't worry. So what's your third beer?
My third beer. What's interesting is, and I'll show it to you. So Johnny and I have a lot of friends through the beer world. And what's great is sometimes when we visit them, they'll give us like partial fills or errors or so. So I'll see if you can spot the error in this beer.
I know what it is.
The label's upside down.
Because I have the same can downstairs, my friend.
So this is a Dunkel. This label's more than crooked. Scott and Bob.
Yeah, no, it's upside down because it was a low fill. That's why they put the labels on upside down so that they don't.
Oh, it's intentional. That's right. It's intentional. So, but this is their Dunkel, and I don't care if it's a low fill. This is the only issue that I ever have with low fills is that if there's too much air, and this is why they won't sell a low fill, is there's too much air in there, you got a better shot of the beer oxidizing because there's more air there. But I love this beer, the Castle de Dunkel. Yeah, so nice. I did an Italian style, a British style, and a German style. And I don't think I did it intentionally, John.
You did?
No, I didn't. I didn't do it.
Italian, German, British. Very good.
Yeah.
Interesting. And it's Italian, German, and British, but like UK, if you will, right? Well, the reason I'm saying that is because I'm Italian, German, and UK. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
I've drank your family tree.
There you go. My family tree would be maple if it was up to me. So
yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely sappy though.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And speaking of that too, up in Providence last week, I picked up a bottle of smoked maple syrup.
Very nice.
I will be making some very nice old fashions with that and black walnut bitters. So.
I'm sure that'll make Mr. Mulvihill quite happy to hear.
Yes.
Where was I?
He said that sounded dirty.
I was at the tailgate.
Oh yes, it makes him happy. Yes, there he is.
I was at Brian Book's tailgate.
Yep.
And there was someone at the tailgate who, like me, loves the Lake Placid area.
Mm-hmm.
And the Adirondack Brew Pub, yeah. They run a distillery as well. And he had brought some of their maple bourbon.
Gotcha.
And I do plan on being in Lake Placid, in March. And I will be looking for that bottle because that is some good stuff.
This was Brian Boak's tailgate at the frozen Monday night Giants-Packers game a few weeks ago.
There you go. Which was a bit bigger than the one that I was at because, well, not
that's all blue except for my son in all in white. There he is.
Yeah, it's still New York. Still got Giants on. We did have
me with a cigar. So there you go.
We did have there were some 40 Rams fans at the tailgate, so they were cool. They were fun to talk to. Do you need to go? Do you have to answer that email?
No. No, that was HP saying, "Do I want the app to make changes to my laptop. So that's a no.
That's a no. But it's better than Apple asking.
That's true.
Once you say yes to that, they own your laptop.
That's true. So, anyway, yeah. So I bought that up there. We had a great trip up there. I don't want to get into a lot of it. We'll talk a little bit more about some of the things we did next week while Efren's on, because I do want his opinion on some of the things that we did. In and around Providence. Obviously, it's his home. So,
and I've been reading something. Zillow put out that Providence in 2024 is going to be some of the hottest real estate in the country.
Yeah, I mean, there was.
I moved out too soon.
Yeah. You were up in Pawtucket.
I moved for the right. I moved out. Never mind.
Well, no, of course.
I moved out for reasons and good reasons.
Sure, absolutely. But yeah, Providence, where the things we did, like I've been to Providence a few times. Obviously, we'd been there, but we never stayed in Providence. It was always we went to Newport and went to Providence, or we were in Boston and stopped in Providence, or
And John stayed right by a park, which is right at the tip top of Narragansett Bay.
Yep.
I've spent a lot of time in that park.
India Point Park, yeah.
India Point Park. During COVID, because they couldn't have the seafood festival inside or too large, they did a very scaled down version of India Point Park.
Mm-hmm.
That was some fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also right by the Narragansett Brewery, which was closed while Johnny was there.
Yeah, they took the week off, and my hotel was right next door.
Yeah,
like I could walk out the front door, take 30 steps, and walk in Narragansett, and I couldn't.
So John, if you're at Indian Point Park, to get up under the bridge, you've seen that wind around to get up on top of that bridge.
We did, yeah. We walked it. We walked that too. So.
I used to ride my bike up it.
Nice.
And this is obviously pre getting hit with COVID, and now the long COVID, because I'd die now if I tried that.
Yeah, Well, it was. Let's put it this way: walking up that winding is still better than walking up the steps.
Yes.
Yeah. Walking down the steps is fine. Walking up the steps is quite another thing.
Yeah, that's a neat bridge. But you got to take that. You got to take that bridge if you're doing the. There's a bike trail, and I think they've got it almost fully connected now. That runs from Cumberland, up in Cumberland, Rhode Island, which is almost the northeastern corner. Okay. all the way down the east coast of the bay.
Yes, yes, it's pretty much connected, because we drove down. We drove down about 10 miles because we went to go see what the one lighthouse that's down that way too. So we took a ride down that way, and we were riding along the bike path all the way down.
Oh, cool. Yeah. That lighthouse has a twin in Rhode Island, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember the name of that lighthouse. I've seen it so many friggin' times because it's always on that bike path.
We went to see two lighthouses that day.
That's the Ponham Rocks lighthouse.
Yes.
So Ponham Rocks, its twin, if you go into Newport,
mm-hmm.
is the Rose Island Lighthouse, and you take the Ponham Rocks Lighthouse and just paint it white, and that's the Rose Island Lighthouse.
It was the Ponham Rocks Lighthouse, and then we went to. Hold on.
Was it Connecticut?
No, we went.
That's the other side, or Night Point.
It was the Connecticut, yeah.
Connecticut. That's you can see it from the east side, but you get much closer to it on the west side. Yep. And what's really cool.
Well, we went to Connecticut Point Park. And
was the tide low enough that you could walk straight up the sandbar?
No, the sandbar was covered, so we got out about 10 feet and it stopped. So.
Oh man, when the tide's low, you can walk like almost halfway to the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, and the stuff that washes up.
Of course, all the danger signs. Tide, rip tide. But what's really cool is that the tide was just over the sandbar, and there were literally two different tides, like coming either way on it. It was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah, they go in different directions. The colors of the water are different.
Yep.
It's really neat. What's really neat is one time in Connecticut, someone found this rock that had these rune carvings on it. It got moved to Wickford. You can see it in Wickford now. I'm not sure that they ever deciphered the runes. but it sits in Wickford, right next to, I think, the visitor center.
Fair enough.
Very cool. Conimicut was one of my favorite places. I think the last time I had PV Donuts, Carrie and I took them to Conimicut Park.
Nice. Yeah, Conimicut Park was cool. It was we hung out there for a bit, and then when we left there, we went over to Proc.
Yeah, it's not far from there because Proc's right near TF Green. It's right by the airport.
Right on the other side of the airport. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. And Karen I think I want to get there in October. Because she's only seen the center part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Providence, Pawtucket, Cranston, Warwick, we didn't really get into Coventry, and that's pronouncing it properly, Coventry, not Coventry.
Right.
If you're in Rhode Island.
It's Coventry, not Coventry. It's Pawtucket, not Pawtucket.
Yeah, it's Pawtucket, not Pawtucket. Even though they called them the Paw Sox when the Red Sox minor league team played there, it is Pawtucket. But there's two places, and she's been to Newport, and that I forget the name of the island there. Oh, Aquidneck Island.
Aquidneck, yeah.
Yeah, Aquidneck. So she's been there, but I don't know if I want to, on the next trip, get her into the southeast, which is Little Compton. And yes, they do sell shirts say straight out of Little Compton. Because why wouldn't you? Or get up into the northwest to like Burrowville, the Foster Gloucester area, Chepachet. Chepachet was one of my favorites.
Drove right through there on Thursday on my way to pick up a little bit of beer for me and a lot of beer for somebody else.
I went a little overboard, didn't I? Okay, so you see these two glasses right here?
Yeah.
John, you have the same glasses.
I do.
They came from Chepachet.
They're back there.
Yeah. They came from Chepachet, by the way.
To the store you went to in Chepachet?
Yeah. Chepachet's got a lot of antique stores in there, and the one that's in the post office is fantastic. The guy was he was a beer nerd, and so he had a huge collection, and every now and then he puts a few things out, so you got to just keep going. And the glasses that we have, you probably can't see them on the camera. They're Schneider Weisses.
Mm-hmm.
And one's the 200th anniversary glass, I think.
200th anniversary glass.
Yeah, he was over in he was in München, and he brought those glasses back from Munich. So
there you go.
So that's really
cool. And we benefit.
Yes. The other one's the Edelweiss, right?
The other one's the Edelweiss, yeah.
Yeah, the Edelweiss. So yeah, and he sold them there, and I picked up two. John saw them because during COVID we did a lot of online drinking together with some of our friends. And he saw one of the glasses and kind of lost his shit over them. So I was like, later that week, I went back and got the other two.
Right.
Because he had two of each. I bought one of each. Then I bought the other two. And said, here you go. You like them so much. They just weren't all that. Yeah, I mean, they weren't expensive at all. But they're just cool freaking glasses.
They are glasses. So I will bring this up. I will talk about this. Like I said, I wanted some of the stuff that Justin and I did in Rhode Island last week. We'll talk about next week with Efren on the show, because some of it involved him too, right?
Yeah.
But in any event, I will say this though: when we left on Thursday, we did head up to Treehouse. We went up into Massachusetts, went to Treehouse, and then drove home. But with everything going on with Treehouse, so we've talked about it on the show.
Yes.
We haven't talked about like the new developments,
right? And we never ever took sides in it.
Not at all.
We knew, and there's more to this story than we were thinking, and it finally came out.
Yeah, the gentleman that is complaining invested what, $10,000?
I thought it was $5,000.
No, I think it was $10,000.
Was it 10? Okay,
$10,000 for 2% of the brewery back in 2012 or 2011 or something like that. And clearly, obviously, that was when that brewery was, 2% of that brewery was worth $10,000, right?
Yeah.
And he's gotten $850,000.
$850,000
in returns on that money. So shut up. All right. Yeah. And if, as long as whatever they're doing is above board,
yep,
shut up. All right. But I will tell you this. It was Thursday night, so it wasn't a Monday night or anything, but it was Thursday night, and I was in there. It was probably 5:30 when I got there. I was there for about an hour, and it was pretty damn busy.
Yeah,
for drinking in the tasting room and everybody picking up beer on a Thursday night at that hour. In January, the week of New Year's week in January. So
it's really hard to knock the shine off that apple.
Yeah.
This person may have thought he exposed them. He has done nothing of the kind. There has been really no evidence as to what his claims are. Mm-hmm. So, like John said, shut up. You've got return on your investment.
You've got a huge return on your investment too.
8,500%.
Yeah.
Shut up. And the thing is, you're bitching, and you've gotten more money than I will ever see in my life. Are you kidding? It takes 10 years for me to make that type of money, and then that's not even counting all the bills I have to pay out of it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's just gross. It's not even net. So shut up. Mm-hmm. We're having a lot of trouble having sympathy for you that you're bitching that you've only made $850,000 off a $10,000 investment.
Unbelievable. I can only imagine that it's just sour grapes, right? And again, we still don't know the whole story, but based on what we have been finding out,
we've now taken sides.
So, there you go. How about it? But yeah, fantastic as always. The space is just amazing.
The Charlton space is just it's okay. So it's not Sierra Nevada down in Nashville, mind you, but it's still such an amazing property. And there's so many different places with different feels on the property on which you can drink or in which you can drink. Mm-hmm. You can be outside, inside, kind of outside, but still inside. It's so many different ways. You can be under a roof, out in open air. You can be at a fire pit. You can be next to a fireplace.
I just want to show you this really quick here. And I'll post this picture on the Facebook page. The outside the brewery, there's the what do you want to call it? Like that really big wooden gazebo.
Yeah, it looks like.
Right. Well, it's now the Winter Lodge.
The Winter Lodge, I like that. They closed it in.
They closed it in. They have a bar in there, and they have fire pits inside the thing.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places is if you're looking at the front of that, and the big tap area where they have all the in the main portion they've got two tap areas. One has most of their lagers on it. The other one has most of their big IPAs and all their big stouts are at the other one. Mm-hmm. So that's on your left. If you go a little further back and then to the left, I kind of like drinking that area because it's like right next to the bathrooms that very few people use. Right. Everyone uses all the ones that are near the tanks.
Sure.
Those are always crowded.
Right.
Those back in that area, never crowded. I like sitting back there.
Exactly. A lot of new merch they had there. Didn't really feel like spending more money on more sales merch.
And it's because the thing is, if John had like, I need the Nomad glass. I wanted the Nomad glass. Well, I can order it online.
You sent me that text. We were already on 84.
Okay.
Going down. Yeah, we had left already. But whatchamacallit? We
because Nomad's my favorite one of their lagers.
I know.
You know why?
Because it's a what is that style? Czech.
It's Czech.
Czech, right there you go. In any event, they had a lot of stuff, but I did see, and I got pissed off because my daughter Rachel and her fiance, they were up last year. They were up in Boston on the way back. They stopped in Treehouse, and she bought me for Father's Day. She bought me a Treehouse golf shirt. It's a green Nike golf shirt with the Treehouse.
Good luck getting a tee time on their golf course.
Right. So I happened to see it there, and I realized how much she actually spent on it, and I want to smack her. So, oh yeah,
don't. Yeah, every now and then you gotta let them.
Yeah, I know. Cheers. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Cheers.
But in any event,
And I do know how much those cost.
Yeah,
like,
it was. I'm like,
cool.
I look at him like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Like,
oh, I got a question for you.
Go for it.
As you get older, I mean, when you're a kid, you ask for things for Christmas, right?
Uh-huh.
And every year, invariably, there's that one thing that you didn't get. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older and you get your own money, when that happens, when Christmas is over,
you go get it.
You go get it yourself. Did you have that happen this year?
You know what? No. Yes and no. There wasn't really anything that I was looking for per se. But what Jess and I have done over the last couple of years, and obviously it's evident in the shows we do, right? Mm-hmm. We don't get each other a lot of stuff for Christmas. We get each other a few things to open up on Christmas morning, and then we go away the day on January 2nd for 3 days or so. So last year we went to Boston. This year we went to Providence. So
next year they're going to Hartford. They just keep getting closer and closer to home.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go in a few years. We're just going to go to the
around the block.
We're going to go. We'll stay at the hotel around the corner. Yeah, or staycation that year.
There you go.
Anyway, but yeah,
kids, this is what happens when you get old.
Exactly.
Okay. Anyway,
so no, but I know what you're saying. I've done that before. Yeah, where like I wanted this, but I will tell you this. Last year, Jess and I were talking. We were going to get each other Apple Watches. Last year, right? And we decided not.
Are those the watches where they have like the leads plugged into both sides and the acid in the Apple runs the clock?
Pretty much, yeah. Cool. And Tom just said, "Hey, you kids, get off my lawn!" There you go.
Yeah. But that was one of my favorite things in Gran Torino, where Clint Eastwood has the gun going, "Get off my lawn."
Right, exactly. So anyway, we decided last year, this was earlier on, we were going to get each other Apple Watches for Christmas. And we decided to do what we started last year, which was a couple of smaller gifts and then go away, right? So we didn't do it. So this year, we're talking about it. She's set with her, she's got a Garmin watch that works as an Apple Watch, but it's also for running and everything else.
Oh, cool.
So we're getting new phones within the next couple of weeks. So I'm going to get myself an Apple Watch in the next couple of weeks. So there you go. So it's a year plus coming. But it's to your point. Yes, that's what I'm doing. So
actually, this year I got myself a Damascus steel Japanese chef's knife.
Very nice. Very nice.
Folded. And what I love about the way the Japanese do their cookware is they do their cooking knives, their chef's knives. A lot of their knives, they do them the way samurai swords were made. The metal gets folded and folded.
Yes.
And the one that I have has been folded 32 times.
Nice.
I've yet to use it because I'm waiting for there to be something worthy to use it on.
That's true. And I got to tell you, it's very hard to fold metal. Have you ever tried?
Hold on, let me see. I've got a knife right here.
No, it's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, well, actually, I can do this. Does that count?
Look at that. You can just easy.
So I'm excited. Well, the thing is, my old eldest son, who's in the Air Force, actually got kicked off base, not for behavioral issues, which I had originally assumed, because he's my son. No, because they needed room for a new incoming, so they're kicking the old timers out because his term's up in like 3 months. So he's got his first apartment for the first time. His own apartment. This is his first. So for a housewarming gift, I sent him like pots and pans, measuring cups,
of course,
spatulas and all that kind of stuff. Oven mitts, because I know he's stupid enough to reach into he'll probably still do it anyway.
It's still you're going to do that, for a while. Like my other daughter, Marina, and her fiance, they have an apartment, and we were just up there a couple weeks ago, and we stopped up there before we all went to dinner, and we walked in with a case of seltzer and wooden pasta spoons.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
So, but the cool thing is he's got his own apartment now. Made Christmas very easy. because he's one of those people that's very hard to buy for.
Mm.
And I had got him a Japanese chef's knife. And I'm like, I want one. So I got
you got you one, right?
And it was funny because when he opened it up, he was like, so this is really cool. I'm almost afraid to use it. Right. So the only problem is now that creates a precedent for him and me, because now I went in a Nikiri. I love Nikiris. I just love the look of a Nikiri. So probably by the end of the year, I'll have a full Japanese knife set.
Nice.
Because I just indulge myself.
Well, there you go. So. All right. Well, on that note,
I'm almost out of beer, so.
I'm almost out of beer, too. So.
Well, just in this glass, there's way too much.
Yeah. You don't want either of us to I don't think you or I could really ever run out of beer.
It's not possible. It's like when we just have no room to put any beer, we still buy more beer.
I know.
And there is, in John's house right now, I have got almost as much beer in John's house as I have in mine.
Yeah, and I got to get you, and you need everything I have for you for next week's show and the week after show.
Yes, for both those shows. This was the point of this, so I've got to see you this weekend somehow. We'll have to figure that out.
We'll figure it out, yeah. So,
but I know you're doing trivia on Saturday night at River Horse, right?
Yep.
So anybody who's in the River Horse area and wants to go heckle, support John.
Come heckle.
Come heckle. Go in.
I enjoy it. Bring it on. Let's go. Come on over. If you're anywhere near Ewing, New Jersey, next Saturday night, I'll be hosting trivia at River Horse. And they don't just have River Horse beer. River Horse owns DuClaw now. So if you're a Sweet Baby Jesus fan, come on down. You can drink it there.
Very nice. And so we'll have to figure something out on Sunday.
Yeah, I have a couple ideas.
Okay. Let me know.
There's it's an anniversary that's going on for 3 days that I might be, attending on Sunday. So you might want to take a ride.
Geez, which one is that?
It would be Icarus-ish.
That's
somewhere in there.
You say licorice?
Licorice, yeah, licorice brewing, yeah.
Okay, licorice.
Licorice brewing. Right. So anyway, we'll figure it out. But on that note for today, and even though he's been off the show for a half an hour now or more, we want to thank Dave for coming on.
Absolutely. We hope he's done shivering.
Yes, we had him outside. Definitely wanted to get him out of there as soon as possible.
The interesting thing is, as in inclement weather as he was doing that show in, it's still not the most inclement weather that anybody on the show has ever been in during the show.
No, not at all. That is for sure.
There was before we had guests, before we were doing, and this is the whole reason that we started doing the show by video.
Live video, yeah.
Live video is because we would do the teaser live video. And this is when I was in Rhode Island. I'm on the roof, and I'm showing John the weather that's coming in. And so then we go to the audio podcast, because when we were just audio on the podcast, and I told John it's getting a little hairy out here. And during the show, the wind kicked up. We had a microburst that picked up the table I was sheltering under, threw it probably about 50 yards off the building. And that's why I told John, I need to go inside now. And we had just wished that we had been doing video there. That would have made for
that would have been amazing.
Just to watch the table go away.
Had we just started doing videos a few weeks before we actually did start doing the whole show on video.
Yes, that would have been a cool moment.
It would have been awesome.
So, but
we would have replayed that several hundred times.
Yes, that would have been so much fun. Yeah. It was, and the thing is, it sounds like it was scary. It wasn't. I didn't find it all that scary. It was just like, okay, that's a sign that I need to get my ass inside. Yeah.
So anyway, but yes, wanted to get Dave off the show. I know he wasn't going to be able to stand for the whole hour and change. but they definitely had to get him on. Dave's a great guy.
I love this concept. I love that this concept has come to Jersey.
Yeah,
and I love that Jersey allowed it.
Dave is a huge champion of local beer. He's a big champion of New Jersey craft beer. He has great insight when it comes to food and beer pairings and so forth and so on. The Mile is a great place to go to in Runnemede, and Reunion Hall, obviously now his new place. That's the main full day grand opening is tomorrow, down in Haddon Township. Get there.
That is one thing. Also, we will sit and we will wait to see if Murphy signs this. The future
he can't not. I mean, he cannot.
Well, the thing is,
he conditionally. Here's the thing: he conditionally vetoed what they approved in June,
right. And he is fully expected
because he wanted other stuff. He's got the other stuff. Sign it.
He's fully expected to sign this because, let's face it, we know that the future of craft beer in New Jersey is tenuous right now. It's there it is. I had to do it for you. It's tenuous right now because
I wasn't wrong. You were better.
We've already lost a few breweries to other states.
Mm-hmm.
The referendum being the first that comes to mind that we lost. We lost them to Pennsylvania because of the antiquated laws in New Jersey. So, and we've lost how many breweries? We lost 7 breweries this past year.
7 in 2023.
Yeah, 7 in 2023. So, the largest growing tax income for the state in New Jersey over the past 5 years, probably maybe not more.
8 years.
Yeah, probably a little more, has been the craft breweries. And I think the reason it gets unanimously passed in the Senate and the Assembly is they understand this. They understand that this is a business model in the state that brings in taxes into the state, and it's not yet fully tapped, pun intended. They know this.
Pun enjoyed.
Yes, this could really, really be, something. You look at. We've talked about Colorado. John was just in Providence, but the year prior was in Boston. There are states that understand that the income brought about and the jobs created by this industry, it's so important to a state's economy. Colorado, California, Michigan have understood this for a very long time.
Sure.
Right. And, the rest of the states are starting to come around and start to figure out themselves. Many have. New Jersey's been bass backwards for how long when it comes to this? So
too long.
So
this is a major. I'm not even going to say it's a step in the right direction. It's a major step in the right direction.
It's a major step. This is, and when I read everything that was in this bill, I was like, yes, and yes. It's a really, really good thing. If it doesn't proceed beyond there, at least we have this, and this is some good stuff right now.
Exactly.
Could there be more? Yes, of course there could be.
Sure.
But right now, I will fucking take it.
Mm-hmm.
Just sign it. Sign it.
Yeah, he will, and we'll post about it. Obviously, as soon as it's signed, it's going to be all over the internet and all over the all over the interwebs, as they say.
Interwebs, these tubes that come out of
right. And so we'll post that as well on the page.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. It keeps getting passed unanimous by the House. Sign the bill already, Phil. Sign it, Phil. Sign it, Phil. Sign it, Phil.
Do you do what I do? You check Facebook all the time to see if either Scott or Algatul has posted up that it's been signed? Because those two are going to know first. They'll post first.
Yeah, no. If either of them post, I get a notification. So I don't even have to check it. I just if my phone dings, I look really quick. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
Those two will be the two that will probably post it before anybody else did.
Exactly, and I'm just going to share whoever posted first on our page, and there we go.
There we go.
Exactly. So.
Because when it comes to New Jersey beer law, both those are perspicacious.
Well, there you go. And I don't want to be too presumptuous, but
go right ahead.
But I think he's going to sign it. I would be flabbergasted
If he does
He does not sign it. All right.
If he does, that insipid smile of his, I'll punch in.
Anyway.
I can't even read what the first word was. Oh, there it was. I am adamant that he needs to sign this damn thing.
There you go. All right. On that note, folks, we are going to wrap this show up for today. And I would like to point out that it's less than half of the time that we took for the last show we did.
God, we had some fun on that show.
3 hours and 12 minutes was our last show. So.
And it only seemed like 2 hours and 50.
It didn't seem a minute over 2:40.
I'll give you that. Yeah, 2:40.
2:40. Yeah. Anyway, on that note, while we both cough, we want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. I have to do it slower today because
a little slower.
There you go.
You do that. Maybe I'll enjoy some sake while you're doing that.
There you go. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media. Facebook. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip.
You take a sip. I'm going to take a sip.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, which is now X. I think I'm going to stop saying Twitter now. Everybody knows it's X.
X.
And Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find audio podcasts, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Dave, he's not on, but thank you so much
for being on
the show. The Reunion Hall, an amazing place. Like I said, you're anywhere near South Jersey, anywhere near Philly, go to Haddon Township, stop in the Reunion Hall, see Dave. Great guy. Great champion of New Jersey craft beer and craft beer in general, but New Jersey local beer.
And running.
He's got 4 running stores. Used to work for New Balance. Make sure if you're a runner, stop in and see him at one of his stores too.
Running Co. Did you say running company?
Running Co. Running Co. So
give him a little shameless plug there.
Exactly. Check that all out. And like I said, thanks for following us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Kanpai.